My father once said, "Some people are born into a family, and some people just exist in one." That was the day I first realized I wasn't his son. I was his greatest inconvenience. When the truth finally came out, the pain wasn't that I wasn't his blood. It was that he had already accepted that fact long before I did. My name is Adrian Walker. I'm 35, a senior legal consultant in Chicago. People call me successful, the expensive apartment, the calm voice, the polished language. But no one knows that my biggest battles weren't fought in a courtroom. They were fought at the dining table. My father, Richard Walker, was a renowned real estate tycoon. A man who smiled for the cameras but only gave orders at home. I had two brothers, Daniel the eldest and Chris the youngest. And then there was me, stuck somewhere in the middle, neither an heir nor a rebel. Just a name in a register, but never in a heart. Richard never yelled. He never hit me. He did something worse. He ignored me. He was front row at Daniel's baseball games and held the camera at Chris's school plays. When my name was called, he'd simply say, "You can handle it yourself." I learned early to speak less, ask for less, and most importantly, expect less. My mother, Elizabeth, would tuck me in at night, but she never stood up for me during the day. I chose law in college, not because I loved the legal system, but because I needed proof for everything. Years later, a call from an unknown number changed everything. "Adrian, you deserve to know that your birth wasn't what you were told." The call ended, and so did my peace. I took a DNA test, not Richard's, but mine. The result, no paternal match found. I didn't laugh, and I didn't cry. I just finally understood. On Richard's 70th birthday party in New York, amid the champagne and media, he gave a speech naming Daniel his successor and praising Chris. For me, there was only a hollow sentence. Something broke inside me. That night, I asked my mother, "Was I ever part of this family?" She cried and told me, "You weren't my mistake. You were my courage." She gave me a name, Michael Hughes, an Army engineer, an old flame, a child that had to be hidden. I found Michael in Virginia. He wasn't rich or famous, but when he saw me, his eyes didn't turn away. He said, "Whether you call me father or not, I am just grateful to look at you." That one sentence lifted a 35-year-old weight. When I confronted Richard with the DNA report, he simply said, "I knew." No apology. No explanation. I asked why he ever called me his son. He didn't answer. I dropped the Walker name and started my own firm. Not with Michael, but by myself. For the first time, I wasn't proving anything to anyone. Years later, Richard passed away. He left me no money, no shares, only a condition: to run the Walker Foundation for 3 months. I discovered it was a foundation for children abandoned by their families, foster care, orphans, hidden children. Every file was a story, and in every story I saw my own reflection. Richard couldn't adopt me in his heart, so he spent his life quietly helping children just like me. It wasn't kindness, it was guilt. Daniel told me that Richard knew the truth but lacked the courage to embrace me, yet couldn't let me go either. I was angry. He used a child's life as a tool for his own penance. I called Michael, and he told me, "You don't have to prove anything to them, or to me." That was the freedom I had been searching for. I accepted the will, but on my own terms. I changed the foundation's name to The Choice Project, because some fathers teach you by embracing you, and others teach you by rejecting you. Richard Walker never held me, but his silence taught me that I wasn't a mistake or a hidden secret. I was a choice. And this time, I chose myself. I went back to see my mother one last time. She confessed that Richard had threatened to destroy everything if she didn't give me up, but she said no for the first time in her life. She was a prisoner in that house, too. I didn't ask why she didn't save me. I realized she couldn't even save herself. I forgave her that day. When the news broke, Walker Tycoon's secret son surfaces, the media tried to turn my life into a scandal. They called me a hidden heir and illegitimate. At a live interview, when asked if I wanted the Walker name back for the money, I simply said, "I didn't tell the truth because I wanted something. I told it because I refused to live a lie." I visited Michael again at his small workshop. He didn't ask about my degrees or my money. He just asked, "Are you happy?" No one had ever asked me that. He told me he couldn't change my past, but he wanted to be in my present. At Richard's memorial, I stood in the back. I saw the empty chair reserved for family and realized I no longer needed to sit in it. I found a letter Richard had written. "If Adrian is here, it is my confession." I didn't call him son because I was afraid. It was my cowardice. I walked out into the sunlight. Michael was waiting for me. I didn't take back the Walker name. I built my own. Some people are born into families, some find them, and some create them. I took the third path. I am no longer anyone's deficiency, anyone's mistake, or anyone's secret. I am a whole person. And that is my story.